Imagine waking up on a Monday morning, or any morning for that matter, with a feeling of dread for what the world has in store for you, and then being able to change your state to one of happiness and positivity in a matter of seconds. Everyone wants to be happy, don't we? And most of us think it's complicated to change our state from sad to happy. Well, that's not true. You can do this faced with any circumstances, and what's more, it's easy, and I'll prove it to you. Now first, it's important to understand how the process works, so you can trust the mechanism creating it, and I'll be taking you through the technique a little later. So meantime, we'll be exploring what common issues we all face developing happiness, how our conscious and unconscious minds work, and the role we play to harness the amazingly powerful tools already present in every one of us. Once you have the confidence to commit yourself to using this technique, it easily becomes your automatic tool of rapid transformation into peak emotional states for whatever situation you encounter in life. One of the biggest traps we can fall into is that of giving up our power to another person or situation. He, she, or it made me feel so bad is a common phrase used by people giving up their freedom to someone or something else. Nobody can make you feel bad unless you allow them. Yes, it's a decision. That's right. What a radical thought to make your own decision on how you want to feel. So ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And you will get your answer, not someone else's. Another mistake is believing it takes a long time or that it's a very involved process for us to be happy at will. It doesn't have to be. We all have the tools we need to be happy right now. All we have to do is use them. Now, it does take a certain amount of discipline and also being at cause in your life. In other words, not being a victim. And we certainly don't need something else that's outside of us. We have everything we need right here inside us right now. Now, another trap is postponing happiness until we achieve something outside of ourselves, such as having more money, buying a bigger house, finding the right partner to be happy with, or retiring comfortably. Or even another angle is, when I'm happy, I'll do those things I've been putting off. The thought is, after I achieve this, then I can be happy. Now it sounds very logical, doesn't it? But this method delays your happiness, spreads unhappiness in those around you, and slows your success and the success of others. The philosopher Alan Watts once said, "The purpose of the dance is to dance, not to get to the end." So let's be in the dance of life now, and decide to be happy right now, whatever our circumstances, instead of waiting for the future which may never arrive. And by being happy now, you'll be more attractive, optimistic, and energetic, qualities which will draw your goals to you faster because of the happy qualities you exhibit. People not at cause in their life, on some level, are being victims. And this state usually comes with lots of baggage, such as lists of reasons and examples to prove how they've tried to achieve and maintain happiness, and fail, using phrases such as, "I never seem to have enough money," "I never have any luck," "My parents abused me as a child," "They never loved me," etc., etc. Now, I'm not making light of anyone's issues. I'm sure they're all factually true, but they're in the past. And this doesn't help us right now because we want to create a bright future, don't we? Allowing the past to flavor the present causes you to stay in the past, in the problem. Now, as you think about your present situation in life, do you notice how many options you have now? Okay, think about the past problem and notice how you feel about it, and think about deciding to do it differently next time. You may decide to not do it like you did in the past, knowing what you know now. So notice how good you feel about not doing it and deciding to choose other options to be at cause in your life. It's next to impossible to make decisions in your life if you keep yourself at effect or in the victim state, because you always have an excuse not to change rather than having a reason to move forward. Taking responsibility, being at cause for what happens in your life, is the only way to effect change. And doing this one powerful technique will change you from being a victim to taking control of your life. And it's easy, it's fast, and it's fun. And what's great is that 99.9% of people have the inner tools to create happiness and change their state if they decide. So understanding the mechanism responsible for creating the dopamine neurotransmitter that makes us happy is really important. That's the role of the unconscious mind. It's an incredibly sophisticated and effective mechanism inside you that will change your emotional state when you need it for every situation that arises. And when we practice the technique, regularly of course, it operates like a software program in the background, creating optimal emotional states for every circumstance in life. So we can be happy in every moment, no matter what your circumstances. To begin the mechanism, first make the decision. So you have to decide and ask your conscious mind to start the process. It's like starting your car. It's simple, isn't it? You turn the key in the ignition and the engine starts. So simple, yet the mechanism, the interaction of the moving parts that get the engine to start and propel your car forward are quite complex. It's the same with us. We all have an amazing system in the form of the unconscious mind that's so reliable that we can trust it to run our autonomic nervous system by itself whilst we sleep. I mean, seriously, who beats our heart or draws air into our lungs when our conscious mind isn't present? Now, it also does it when we're awake, so we don't have to remember to breathe or beat our heart when we're having a conversation like this. For such a fabulously complex mechanism, finding a memory of happiness is simple and lightning fast, but only if we use the key, which in our case is the phrase, "How do I want to feel?" directed at the unconscious mind. In the car analogy, failing to be happy is like sitting in a car and saying it doesn't work. What's missing is simply turning the key to get the process started, and so we have to tell our unconscious mind what to do, using our key, "How do I want to feel?" This question is actually a demand to your unconscious mind to find evidence of your ability to be happy. Now, your unconscious mind actually doesn't know the difference between an emotion from a memory in the past and an emotion that's being experienced here in the present. So when it finds examples of happiness or appropriate emotion from your past, your neurotransmitters create the feel-good chemical dopamine for you, believing it to be an event happening in the moment, in the now. And it'll recreate this process again and again whenever we remember emotional events, so that, chemically speaking, you're actually reliving the event in the moment. So to the unconscious mind, it's as if it's happening right now. And this isn't new. Shakespeare, who I can safely say had not heard of dopamine or neurotransmitters, said, "Assume a virtue if you hath it not. Fake it till you make it." So even he intuitively knew that giving the unconscious mind directions would create real change inside, so he can move quickly from depression and paralysis to happiness and productivity. Now, we process over 1 million bits of information every split second of every moment of our lives, but we only consciously process 27 bits of this information, plus or minus 7 each second. So we're only consciously aware of between 20 and 34 bits of those million available bits each second. We couldn't possibly process this amount of information consciously each second, so we leave this to the unconscious mind. And it's helpful to imagine the conscious mind as a small 30-bit computer and the unconscious mind as a multi-billion terabyte supercomputer where every second of every minute of our lives is stored. It's this vast reservoir of vital information that we can access when we need, so we have no shortage of examples to choose from to regain our happy state and maintain a healthy outlook on life. Examples that are summoned up from our memory are often in the form of a video replay of a great event, an achievement, or powerful emotional state from our previous experiences. And we've all had these, haven't we? That's right, and whichever way it comes to mind, it triggers a flow of chemical remembrance that changes our physiological state from blah to brilliant. If we're willing to engage with it and practice regularly, we retain the effects for longer periods, and eventually it becomes another of our good habits, operating automatically like maintenance software on your computer. Now, memory recalls can often come from early childhood, so don't dismiss them, even if you start off with recalling you winning the egg and spoon race as a 7-year-old. The same chemistry happens to a 7-year-old as an adult, so an early memory should be encouraged, as they can often be dynamic and usually free from the retaining filters we often add as adults that stopped us achieving things. So it's amazing that all we have to do to recreate our best, most dynamic states is to ask ourselves a simple question: how do I want to feel? And our unconscious mind will go to work lightning fast and produce a memory to match how it knows you want to feel. Now, personally, my mind goes to memories of exiting an aircraft at 12,000 feet during a skydive, and it's guaranteed to change my state to one of high dynamic energy. And you may have noticed how my breathing has already changed, the speed and tempo of my voice, and I feel, well, actually I know I can conquer the world in this moment. So it's the same with any emotional state you care to remember. So remember, it happens instantly, and it can change your ho-hum emotional state into a high-powered you instantly if you use it. I don't care who you are, this is guaranteed to produce immediate state-changing results. The only difference between people's results is the length of time they decide to hold their state. So take back your power, be it cause in your life, and enlist the help of your best ally, your unconscious mind. It's the place where all change takes place. Now, if you have 2 minutes, let's do the technique right now, and don't be fooled by its apparent simplicity. It has enormous power. So, ask yourself, how do I want to feel? After saying this, what thoughts and feelings come to mind? Now, concentrate on the memory that surfaces, observing in intense detail all aspects of the memory. It's being presented to you from the unconscious mind for a very good reason, so that it breaks the weaker bond of our negative state and installs a stronger energy into your system, which then teaches your emotional body how to feel what the future will look like. All we have to do is make the request, how do I want to feel? Now, by the way, if you feel you didn't get a response, simply repeat the question and raise your energy like this. Do it with me. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? And for this last one, you can't help but be full of energy because you're now in warrior mode. Congratulations. So to recap, ask the question silently or out loud, how do I want to feel? And you can increase the energy of the request until you get the appropriate response, and then hold on to that feeling. Repeat it regularly until dopamine becomes the dominant neurotransmitter in your system. Be it cause in your life, and use this technique constantly until it's second nature to you, embedded in your physiology, so that you're always accessing the most effective state changes for the situations you encounter. I'm Richard Bergin, board-certified mental and emotional release therapist and energy practitioner. Please like and share this video with your loved ones, and subscribe for more great state-changing techniques. Thanks for watching.